At the beginning of July 2021, the Australian federal government released its updated COVID-19 response plan. So let's have a look through it and see where cruising fits in. I'm Adrian, the Cruise and Travel Guy. Thank you so much to everyone that has subscribed to my channel, and if you haven't done so yet, please hit that subscribe button. When the pandemic started, countries around the world had to respond quickly to the growing threat of the virus. The Australian government chose to take advantage of our geography and effectively shut our international borders. At the beginning, I think it's fair to say that most of us were on the same page. We didn't know what we were facing, and hunkering down in our bubbles of safety seemed like the right thing to do. Fast forward, however, and the world looks like a very different place this year. Europe, Singapore, the US, and the Caribbean are all enjoying the return of cruising. Sure, it's being managed under strict health protocols, some with a vaccine mandate and others without. But it's progress. In Australia, despite repeated industry calls for a pathway to the resumption of domestic cruising, the government has so far failed to provide us with anything of the sort. The updated National COVID-19 Response Plan was released only days ago, and I was excited to review it and see where cruising fits in. The new plan includes 4 phases, starting with Phase A, where we are now, and ending with Phase D. If you want to review the plan yourself, I've included a link in the description box below. Phase A includes only one slight nod to travel, which states the following: trial and pilot the introduction of alternative quarantine options, including home quarantine for returned vaccinated travelers and the establishment of digital vaccination authentication at international borders. Phase B indicates that vaccinated Australians would not be subject to the same state border controls as unvaccinated Australians, so a vaccine passport then. Phase C is the beginning of the end, so to speak, as this phase moves Australia into treating COVID-19 like any other infectious disease. We've seen this phase start to emerge in other places around the world like the UK, US, and Singapore. The phase includes no lockdowns, no domestic travel restrictions for vaccinated Australians, no restrictions for outbound travel for vaccinated travellers, no caps on returning vaccinated travellers, and the extension of Australia's travel bubble with countries like Singapore. Phase D, the final stage, allows for uncapped inbound arrivals for all vaccinated travellers without quarantine, and uncapped arrivals of unvaccinated travellers subject to pre-departure testing and on-arrival testing. Cruising doesn't factor into any one of the phases as a separate entity. We could surmise that domestic travel would include domestic cruising, especially before the expansion of a travel bubble arrangement with other countries. This could theoretically fit within Phase B, where vaccinated travellers would be spared from the pain of state and city lockdowns, but more likely would fit in with Phase C, where it's projected there will be no lockdowns whatsoever and no domestic travel restrictions for the vaccinated. However, the government has failed to provide any quantifiable numbers as to when Australians could expect to move through the additional phases. The one thing it's contingent on is the continued rollout of the vaccine program, and we all know how that's going. My personal feelings about this roadmap is that it's a bit of a farce. It looks like something any one of us could have drawn up, and without numbers, we're really just as in the dark as we were 3 months ago about what it will take to get out of this situation. And specific to cruising, well, once again, the government has left the entire cruise industry and its stakeholders hanging in the balance. I am happy to report, however, that CLIA, the Cruise Line International Association, has further developed their Ready Set Sail program and created a toolkit that will enable you to meet with your local MP to discuss the plight of cruising. I've included a link in the description box below where you can find out more information about it. Australia really is one of the only cruising markets in the world without a plan to save the cruise industry locally. It's not entirely surprising when you consider that we barely have a plan to escape continuing lockdowns. Well, I imagine this video might spark some debate in the comment section, so feel free to let me know what you think. Overall, I just want to see this country get back to what it was, and the cruising industry is a big part of that. It's a big part of my life. It's obviously a big part of your life. That's why you're watching this video. And I just want to do everything that I can and that we can to get it back up and running. And I really don't feel like our government are giving us enough. Well, that's it for now. I hope you stay safe wherever you are. If you are looking for more information about cruising, you can head to my website, thecruiseandtravelguy.com.au, and you can follow me on Facebook and Instagram at thecruiseandtravelguy. Thanks for watching. Stay safe. I'll see you soon.